Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we talk about the 6 signs of your awakening. And as we spoke about it in the last video, the awakening is the first phase of the Ascension process. And today we go deeper into the actual first phase, which is the awakening. And I plan to do additional videos on each of the 6 signs of your awakening process. So if you wish to go deeper even into that, just leave a comment below and I will set up more videos to go deeper into these signs. Now the fact that you're watching this video means that you're most likely that you are already awakened or in the process of your awakening. And why that is you will see after watching the video. And you will also notice that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's always a pleasant experience, this awakening, this so-called awakening. And it can be a time of great confusion, information overload, distraction, disappointments, all sort of things. And as you wake up, or as people wake up, they start to look for answers, and this can lead to a lot of headache, distraction, and like you go down the rabbit hole, literally. So my intention is to give you a guideline that helps you to go through this process with more ease and to put things into perspective. So after watching, you will know exactly where you are regarding your awakening process and which areas might still need a bit of attention. And with this, thank you for watching and enjoy the show. So before we talk about the actual signs, let's quickly recap what I mean with awakening. So awakening essentially is a change of awareness and perception. It can mean that you disconnect from the mass consciousness which you have been following up to this point, and you become aware that you are no longer living in alignment or feeling, thinking in alignment with this mass consciousness. What has been important to you before is no longer valid. You will notice that you have been conditioned and that your social conditioning, the way you grew up, the country you live in, maybe the religion that you have, all your background, your language, traditions, all of this gets into your focus and you start to question all of these and the sense, the purpose, your role in it. And you may also all of a sudden change your perception from your own personal success, your competitive mindset, and the importance of your status and your status symbols that you put all your attention to. You start to reflect more. You open up for compassion towards others. You start to be more creative and nurture and your self expression. You nurture your self expression and wish to contribute from that level more. And you shift from reaching your individual goals that seem to promise future happiness, which they don't. So you notice more and more that this promise is not sustainable, it's not fulfilling, and you start to question if this is the right path you're on. If you're successful in by social norms or not, it doesn't actually matter. You can be very successful by all measures and still feel empty, an inner emptiness, or you can be not successful and have the same issues. It doesn't matter where you're at. At some point, you start to question all of these ideas, and we also start to look at our identification, at our self-identification. What are we connecting us to, and our own self-worth? It might be money, it might be status, it might be family, success, and career. But at some point, something happens to us that forces us to change our perception. It might be an illness, it might be a passing of a loved one, it might be a separation, some sort of letting go of pain, of breakdown, external, internally. It might be that we get delusioned all of a sudden through illness, any of these events that have the power to change the way we think, that forces us to stop. And it can also be a less dramatic experience, like reading a spiritual book, or getting an insight, or it can be more dramatic, like any of the mentioned events. This initiates the awakening process, and what happens in the wake of that, we will discuss right now as the 6 signs that you go through in this process. The first sign is spiritual depression, which is wakening up or becoming aware of your higher self in form of a crisis or through a crisis. So the light that flows in on this planet, the light energy, brings all to light. So the darkest corners and areas in your life that have been in the shadows before remain dark, you were unaware of them, or you denied them and suppressed them, and all of this now in the light becomes visible and part of your perception. It's very clear now and can no longer be denied. So if the main focus has been to look outside before, now it's time to look within, into the inside. So the outside no longer has the appeal it had before, and you need to look inside. And the burnout, the depression that is caused and may seem to come out of nothing, all of a sudden starts to question everything. But even though it seems that it comes out of nothing, it actually has built up for many years. And you start to see the illusions around you very clearly, and you can no longer deny them. And it can drive you mad if you would try. So what I mentioned before, we are faced with a crisis. So the possibility of death in various forms is presented to us, or a divorce, or a job loss, or someone moving ahead in the career ladder, and we realize all the efforts have been for nothing, or we lose a job, we go bankrupt with our business, we get ill, someone else in our family does. And we start to question, what does really matter in life? Was it all worth it? And you notice that your own ambitions that got you where you are right now are no longer valid. You notice that you have been deceiving yourself, and you become deluded, and life gets meaningless. This is what this spiritual depression is about, your burnout. And it is a call of your soul to focus on your real needs, on your inner self, on your true inner needs of your soul. So the outside is no longer able to fulfill the promise, and you need to look within. And what seems like a collapse is actually also, it gives space. So destruction, is also a form of creation. We live in a dual world, so creation and destruction go hand in hand. Now this collapse of the old gives space to build something new out of it. The universe was created out of nothingness, out of emptiness, the formless. The formless gives birth to the form. And the feelings of meaninglessness, of apathy, emptiness, stagnation are all part of this spiritual depression, but they become the fertile soil on which new visions and new life purpose can grow, which then is in alignment with your now enlightened soul. So the depression, which means the collapse of the old, gives rise to what is to come, the new self, the new vision, the new purpose, the new meaning, which you have been looking for, and which can then give birth to lasting and sustainable happiness in your life. So the next sign is the expansion of consciousness. The awareness of who and what you are, what you truly are, starts to change. You start to question where you're coming from, where you're going, what happens after life. And this comes with an expanded awareness and perception. You think there needs to be more to life, a deeper dimension. And it's like, up to this point, you only lived, or you looked at the surface of the lake. Now you start to look beneath the surface of the water, and you dive deeper, and you discover so much more. It has been there all the time, but you just have never even looked or considered to look beneath the surface. And what happens is you start to trust your intuition more. You all of a sudden notice what is good for you. People, substances, food, places. You notice what is good for you and what is not good for you. So your situation changes, and the people you hang out with change. And this, for many people, enhances this feeling of depression and of meaninglessness, because you start to feel alone. People don't no longer, you don't resonate with them, and they no longer with you. But you feel that this is the right thing for you, even you might not be able to explain it. So you start to trust your senses more, and you let go of your mind. You detach from a stream of thoughts. You no longer identify with them, and you trust your inner voice and intuition. And you notice that it pays actually out to listen to your intuition. You notice that things just work out better, like, so you have these synchronicity effects, um, and you notice that you have your inner compass. You can activate your inner compass by listening to your inner voice and intuition. And this will guide you through life with more ease and in alignment with your true desire. And the mind and its so-called logic and also the opinions of other people lose their grip on you, the importance. You no longer care what they say. You just know what you want. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know. And you just cannot even explain it, but you know what is right for you, and you go for it. So what also happens with this increased expansion of consciousness is that you expand into the energetic field around you and the dimensions around you. So this is the near Earth field, and there are all sorts of energies, lost souls, um, you know, beings, and also sometimes just you tap into the energy field of other people. So what happens is you might get panic attacks, anxiety, anger, hatred. All of a sudden, you perceive these energies, these things that are not from you. And I see people calling themselves empaths, which experience this very strongly. And this can cause all sorts of confusion, anxiety, and so on, what I mentioned. And this is part of your expanding consciousness, of your expanding perception of the non-physical aspects of life. And of this can cause harm to you, or let's say uneasiness, to say the least, if your physical and energetic body are not connected. If there is a separation due to traumatic experiences in your early life or accidents, incidents, and you get actually receptive to these energies around you, you are not protected because you're standing next to yourself. You're not yourself. You're not connecting your energetic and physical essence. And this can even be enhanced through the use of drugs and alcohol. So by opening up to these non-physical dimensions of life, you also invite these negative energies if you're not protecting yourself. How do you protect yourself? You connect with your own soul essence. You heal, which heals and protects you. You need to be grounded. So you're all enlightened. And then you go back to the mundane reality of life. And this can be disturbing. So being with both feet on the ground through physical activity, going to nature, light physical work, healthy food, plant-based food, help all to ground you and to connect you with your true soul essence. And this will help you to not be affected by those energies around you. And there are exercises you can do in addition to that. But this is basically the phase of expansion of consciousness. The next sign is the freedom of choice. So once your consciousness expands and your awareness changes, you notice that you are in charge of your choices. There's nothing in your life that you didn't choose. Sometimes you choose unconsciously, but ultimately you choose. And of all the choices you can make in life, the biggest choice is about life itself. So once everything falls apart or seems to fall apart, you can and have to make the choice to live. You commit to life. You understand that it's your choice to be here, that life is a privilege, not a punishment. And you understand that you are incarnated in this body with your soul to have this experience in the here and now. And you're here for a very specific reason. And the most important reason of this is to just be here, experience life with all aspects of life, the full range of emotions, experiences, and aspects of life that come with it. And you commit to this life again. And before getting any healing, or if you have really a depression or really lost, you feel lost, if you have addictions, you have any issue you have, the condition to any healing is your commitment to life. You want to live. And with this choice sets you free and to really transform your life. Committing suicide is a choice, and it's a free choice, and nobody forces the people to do that. And ultimately, it's a lack of love to those who stay behind. If you commit suicide, you don't love those who stay behind, and you put them in the role of the offender and yourself in the role of the victim. So you put them into the energy of guilt about what they did. And if you forcefully, leave the body by committing this suicide, this is actually not necessary. So at a certain spiritual development, you no longer can forcefully commit this suicide. You notice that you can simply leave your body, your soul can simply leave your body if you no longer wish to stay here. This is the energy of the new time. You are here because you want to, and every human life lasts as long as you choose to. Now, if you think of, okay, what about people who die early, the early death of loved ones? You say it's destiny or an accident or coincidence, a tragedy, and it definitely is. But you have to allow yourself the thought that before we come into this life, into this incarnation, we make arrangements, and these arrangements can include that someone decides to leave this planet earlier. And what may seem as an accident or a tragedy to us was ultimately a free choice of them leaving earlier in order to help those who stay behind, to wake them up, to expand their consciousness. And often this, like we mentioned before, death of a loved one can cause a spiritual awakening. And often this has been agreed with those related to this person in this community of souls, that one leaves so the others can wake up and transform what needs to be transformed. And this opens you up to the possibility that after death, the soul does not die, it just goes into the other physical dimension, and you can contact the loved ones, you can communicate with them, understand that they are fine, that they are in peace, and that they did so because they choose to do so. And this changes your perception about life and death and helps you to expand your consciousness and ultimately help you to progress in your ascension. With the freedom of choice also now comes the next sign, which is the power of thoughts. So for all the other choices in life, so once you choose to live, comes the power of your thoughts. You are the creator of your life, and this realization puts you out of this victim mindset that you are not the victim of the circumstances, but instead the creator of your reality. And you realize that it seems possible to take your destiny in your own hands. However, in our performance and competition based society and ideology of the modern self improvement industry, we can also pressure ourselves into all kinds of doubts, of do we do the right things? Are we on the right path? Are we spiritually evolved enough? Am I doing the right thing to use my creative powers? Is something wrong with me? Or maybe the stars are not in my favor, or the God, or the universe. And this can lead to desperation of being untalented, not worthy, just lazy. And we feel all this pressure to, perform, to show off how good we are, how evolved we are, how much in charge we are of our life. And if then things don't work out the way they do, we can just, get another burnout or depression. We just break. It breaks us. And we start to then again put ourselves into this victim mindset. We blame others, the situation, the world, the economy, politicians. And again, this is the thoughts that we have. And it comes down to, first of all, not to identify with your thoughts, to be the observer of your thoughts, but also to overcome this polarity, duality mindset, and ultimately to take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. So if you really are the creator, then all of what you see is your creation in one way or another. And to accept that is the first step to unleash the power of your thoughts, which is already there, but to actually make it conscious and become conscious about your creations and to see everything around you as a reminder of what you are able to create. It's not your creative power that is lacking or your skills of manifestation. You are the creator and you're doing perfectly so. And what you see around you is a perfect reflection of your creation. And it's up to you to recognize this and more so to really understand your thoughts and also that it's not only your thoughts that create your reality, but the way you show up, the way your intention and your energy around things. And this brings us already to the next sign of your awakening, which is the heart opening. So this means through your awakening, you start to live more from your heart space, less from the mind, and you no longer believe that you have to suffer yourself to success or happiness, and it doesn't seem bearable anymore. So no pain, no gain is no longer valid due to the elevation of your body's frequency and vibration, and with the incoming law of energy, you notice that the love that flows towards others also has to flow towards yourself. So you will notice that life can be simple, can be easy, pleasant, effortless. There is no more need for self-denial to help others and to burn yourself out in the process. So there needs to be a balance, a healthy balance of self-love and the love towards others. And you cannot help others. If you are in a boat and you see someone drowning, it doesn't help to jump into the water next to the person and drown together. You need to keep your position of elevated energy, of your potential, of your higher potential to help others. So this means you need to love yourself first, but in a way that allows you to help others from that space of self-love. And you don't help them by denying your own needs, your own love, and it would consume you. And so this self-love creates a new love towards others, empathy for others, compassion, and mutual respect and appreciation. So there is a harmonic co-creation instead of a challenging competition. We live life, we are with life, in alignment with life, instead of fighting it. There's no more survival, there's thriving and expansion and co-creation. The egoic I becomes we, and we notice that we are all one. And that's the new common energy that unites all people. So creations from the heart space also much more powerful than just thoughts. And this love is this unconditional love that is beneath the emotions, beneath the thoughts, beneath even the form. The unconditional love is arising out of the formless into the form. It is what connects all of us on a very deep level. And your heart opening will bring this energy into your life and the life around you. And it has a natural healing power. And it heals not only yourself, but automatically heals the situations and even the people around you just by being there. So just open yourself up for this heart energy. You live more from the heart. Rather than being right, you start to be kind. You are more in love, and it's more sustainable and better for you to be in this state of love than being in the state of wanting to be right or superior or whatever in a fighting mode. Just be in your heart and open your heart and allow yourself to open up and to feel it into it. So lose your mind, come to your senses, feel into your heart, and imagine how it shines out of you, and like it's like a sun inside your chest, opening up and shining to all people unconditionally, just like the sun. The sixth sign of the awakening is the light body process. So along with your heart opening, your energetic center becomes more and more your heart chakra. So your heart center grows and expands, and just like a big sun in your chest or a bright diamond that shines in all colors, the other chakras integrate into your heart center. So your heart chakra dominates your energetic body, and these other chakras dissolve into it. So they align into one big heart chakra. They dissolve into one big heart chakra. They're still there, but you have this crystal chakra, then crystal diamond, and it replaces your egoic instincts and needs, and it the life force, the life energy becomes dominant in your life, and your ability to manifest your soul's desires increases with the expansion of your heart energy, and you connect automatically more with your soul essence. And the intensified connection of body and soul essence, together with the heart opening and elevation of your vibration and frequency in all of your cells in your body, this is called the light body process. So the love, the light in your body manifests in your cells, and this is the light body process. You connect stronger to your soul essence, and you feel the stronger feeling of your true needs of your soul that you need, instead of the what has been conditioned to you before, and the feelings of the mass consciousness. So your soul wants to grow, make new experience, meet kindred spirits and people, get new insight, expand its awareness, grow in wisdom. So these are your true desires, and you will notice that manifestation goes much easier if you live from your heart space and are in this process, in this light body process. Because instead of getting those status symbols that you thought you would need, you actually create real life situations, and that help you to transform and grow according to your needs of your soul. And then being replaces having. So where you were collecting items before, status symbols, things you called your identities, roles, being this or that, having this or that, this becomes more and more irrelevant, and being is the new focus. Being is the new having. And you notice that you will get deeper connections towards others. You lose the need to show off, and you create more win-win for all people involved. So the world unites, people unite more, and rational logic thinking combines with the intuitive side. So your left and right brain hemisphere work together, they synchronize, and this creates then moments of enlightenment, and creative solutions and creative self-expressions will become part of your life more and more. So thinking and intuition become one, and you expand your creativity and your consciousness in the process of it. So you live more in the now, and out of this now, situations, solutions, insights, perceptions show up, and I say it, you expand into the now, into the present moment. You just get bigger. You just connect more and more with the things around you. And so the power of thoughts needs to be connected with your heart, and this will create the new earth inside of you, outside of you, and all of this together, you will connect with your soul energy, and this is the light body process. So come to a close. We talked about the 6 signs of the awakening process: the spiritual depression, expansion of consciousness, freedom of choice, power of thoughts, the heart opening, and the light body process. So this was a much longer video than expected, but I hope you got some insights, and that it helps you to get more clarity where you are at on your path. And we can go deeper into each of these aspects if you wish. Just leave a comment And thank you for watching, and wish you an awakened time ahead, and see you in the next video. Bye.